Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Keys, and today we're going to take a look at the black market AK-74 high-end assault rifle. This was originally developed in the 1970s by Russian designer Mikhail Kalashnikov as a replacement for earlier AKs, so this is actually based on a real-world weapon. The AK-74 has an iconic muzzle brake that makes the weapon easier to handle when fired at an automatic rate, but you'll notice when we take it out to the range here that the recoil pattern on this and actually on every assault rifle is quite intense. It sprays, it kicks, it has a pretty big vertical stability issue, even when you add mods. What's interesting is there is a new version of the AK-74, the AK-74M, which is actually now the standard issue service rifle for the Russian military. And one thing that they did change was the AK-74 in-game model. It's a bit more reminiscent of the old AKs with regards to curvature of magazines and things like that. So the base stats on this weapon: standard magazine size of 30 and rounds per minute of 650. Mine has 9,211 damage stat, 767 rounds per minute, and 57 magazine. With regards to talents on mine, just so we can take a look at what it is I actually have stacked up on mine. My first perk is deadly, so my critical damage is increased by 26%. I have prepared and intense. These are decent stats. There's a lot better stats out there. These do work for me. I've got a lot of different magazine and mods that help me out. So my magazine increases my magazine size and rate of fire. I have large optics that increases headshot damage and accuracy. I have a large muzzle as well, and it's purple, but you know what? I can't find a high end that's just as good. I've got accuracy and critical hit chance, and I also have a large underbarrel with accuracy and hip fire. So this weapon does have 4 mod slots as well as 1 skin slot, so I have the teal skin slot on mine right here. So now that we've taken a look at all of this, let's jump out and see how it handles on the range. As I mentioned, the one thing we're going to want to look at is just the recoil pattern on it. It's not so apparent when you're up close. So you can see here we're doing about 23,000 to 64,000 burst damage on headshots. Also some body shots as well. You'll see how the weapon does kick quite a bit, and I'm actually pulling down on my thumbstick quite a bit just to keep the recoil down. It's quite something. When you're doing body shots, you don't notice it as much because you get a much bigger target. But when you're doing the headshots, you notice it kicking left to right. Where you really start to see the sway of these assault rifles in the black market is when you go to mid-long range attack position. So you can see that as I'm doing different damage to head, I'm still getting pretty decent damage numbers, but it's really hard to control the recoil of this weapon. Again, when you're at a distance, body shots are a bit easier to hit, but again, the headshots that much harder. The best way to fire these weapons is in a burst. I wouldn't go any more than 3 quick bursts because that's when it starts kicking. I do notice though when you do single bursts, it does take quite a while to unload your magazine. Now we're shooting at the furthest target away. You can see that it's even that much harder to hit the target. The gun is kicking left and right, and it really makes it hard to hit those shots. You'll notice that the weapon is kicking up at a pretty insane rate, and I think what I'm going to do here is show you guys something that I discovered, and that there's kind of a max rate of where it stops. You can see it went up about maybe 6 or 7 feet, and then all of a sudden it doesn't kick up anymore at all. So if I let's try aiming at the ground, you can see that it's going to kind of hit a max where it doesn't go up anymore, and I'm really starting to wonder, like, what is this built into the game? What's going on with this? It's very strange. I'm gonna go grab some more ammo and we'll take another look at this. I've noticed this with a lot of weapons, and the recoil pattern when you're going vertically is it'll it goes up about 5 or 6 feet, and then your gun won't recoil any higher. Very strange. I'm not sure what exactly is kind of the cause of why it stops, or the reason of why Massive and Ubisoft put this in the game, but it just, it's very, very strange. So now we're at Broadway Emporium. Let's see what this weapon's going to do like in real life scenario. Again, I'm going to implement that burst fire rule for myself. I find it's really the only way to to use these weapons unless it's something up close. You'll see if I do an up close and I just do a burst round, it really does take down enemies very fast. It's a very, very powerful assault rifle. It's probably my favorite assault rifle in the game, next to the Liberator. Does a lot of damage. It is easy to control when you do the burst fire, but when you're looking at holding down, just spamming the trigger, there's a lot of spray and prayers out there. This gun may not be for you. I'd recommend an SMG in those sorts of cases. You can see though, it's really taking down the boss's armor quite quickly. The armor is something that usually takes quite some time to bring down, but overall, the it's a really great gun. I really hope Ubisoft and Massive take a look and say, hey, you know what, the vertical stability recoil of this gun is just absolutely terrible. It does fire great from cover. I do have some cover perks on my talent tree, so when I'm taking cover and jumping out, that is a different way that you can look at increasing your weapon stability. But it's still pretty tough. I'm probably going to be an SMG guy, but this is a really great assault rifle. Well guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you out there in the DZ.